Can I please have Jonathan Frey come to the stage? Jonathan is Broward County Sheriff's Deputy Shannon Bennett's fiancé and will be sharing their story.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jonathan Frey. I prepared a little bit something because I'm not the greatest public speaker, so bear with me. It's an honor to be here today and to share a little bit about my fiancé, Deputy Shannon Bennett, which after 2 years is still an incredibly difficult thing to do. I want to thank everyone for coming today and all those who assisted me in being here, especially Scott. I've stalled coming to Police Week. I've hemmed and I've hawed at the thought of this for months. The past 2 years have been a journey that I never could have or would have wanted to anticipate, and I still have trouble wrapping my head around the concept every day, or at least the days I have the energy to even sit and address it and think about it. I was asked to speak about Shannon's story and his life, which if you've ever had the pleasure of knowing him or meeting him, you know that's not an easy feat. The man was bigger than life itself. It's hard for me to talk about Shannon's life prior to our chapter, not for lack of knowledge or my own desire to know more about him, but because there's so much there. He was sweet and he was effortless. He could befriend anyone he wanted. I met friend after friend after friend, and they became my family. His blood family gave me open arms to me immediately and considered me a Bennett. Family was everything to Shannon, whether it was blood family or chosen family, and I became part of this huge network of love. He loved his job, even though it was difficult at times. He loved his life with all the ups and downs. He loved himself and all the intricate parts that made him who he was. And most of all, he loved his community. From performing in drag as Shanandra to working events like Pride and LGBTQ youth proms, he was just an all-around good person. I had known about Shannon for years prior to us becoming a couple. I recollect random prides where I'd see this beautiful bald man in uniform. I volunteered at an LGBTQ prom myself, and he had been working that event. I did a season of flag football, and he had been playing for another team but was unavailable. The universe has a funny way of tying little strings of memories together, though. Our worlds had finally collided years later, and I knew immediately after the first date that this was the man I wanted to marry and be with. I didn't know all of his intricacies, and I didn't know much about him, but his presence was what confirmed it for me. As I grew with Shannon, there was one thing that indicated he was the one for me, and it was his energy. I had moved around so much growing up that home wasn't a place, it was the people who I loved, and he gave me the feeling of being home. Sitting next to him on the couch, being scooped up in his arms in a hug when my anxiety was out of control, event after event, standing by his side, he jokingly and lovingly often referred to me as the Michelle to his Obama, and I reveled in that. I found a man that fit all the pieces of the puzzle for me, and someone that made the decision every day to work hard for our relationship. He wasn't perfect, but he was everything I wanted. I took his marriage proposal incredibly serious. Being his husband felt like an honor I would cherish for the rest of my life. Shannon passing has changed my life in ways I didn't think were possible, and I've had to do a lot to protect my space in my mind. He was there and then he wasn't. No goodbye, no funeral, no final hug. I didn't get to hold his hand to comfort him in the hospital bed or tell him how much he meant to me. He was one of the most beautiful humans that have stepped into my life, and he changed me forever. I'm sure many of you here feel the same way about your families, your partners, your friends. Cherish them, hug them when you get home a little tighter. Life comes and goes, but the love we have will always remain. Rest in peace, Shannon, and all other officers we honor today, in the past, and in the future. Thank you all just for having me.
Thank you, Jonathan. Joining Jonathan today is his good friend Jennifer Herr.